Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Or as some say, the real JTG, Johnny Too Good.
Okay.
Boy, did we have a weekend in Melrose, fans. A brand new Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays begins now.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome back. You saw SmackDown from Hartford, Connecticut. You had AEW Rampage. Now it's time for Fabulous Fridays. I'm still trying to recoup Johnny from what was a wild, unreal, hellacious weekend here in the world of Boston Wrestling MWF. I think it was probably everything we could have hoped for and even more.
I have to tell you something. I've been involved with a lot of events.
Yes.
And you got the word. You asked me if I said it, and I did, and I'll repeat it. In all the events in 20 years that I've been involved,
16 for you.
Yeah, 16 for me, that I've been involved in, this event was nothing but outstanding. The crowd was tremendous. The fans were tremendous. The talent was tremendous. And to have all those legends there, let me tell you something. It's like making a cake and putting extra frosting and icing on it. It was just too much to behold. It was just awesome.
I guess I have to ask you the million-dollar question. Would you go as far as to say it was fabulous?
Better than fabulous.
Wow.
It was fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. All I can tell you. I had fans coming over to me saying, when's the next event? This is unbelievable. This is outstanding. The locker room was great. The back was run professionally. Thank you, Bo Douglas and Tiger Mulligan. It was done real, real well. No backbiting, no fighting. Everybody was on time. It was unbelievable from start to finish.
See what happens when you don't have me and Dylan Cage?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
All right, wrestling fans, as Johnny just noted, there have been a lot of fans inquiring about our return. And it's not just going to be a return, Johnny. It is going to be our marquee event, MWF Soul Survivor 10. Saturday night, April the 16th, live from Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, when we go back to the 80s officially. We had to postpone the theme from November to April because of a wide variety of issues, from deaths to AEW moving their pay-per-view appearance to theft to a talent even leaving the country. So, I mean, we could only do what we could do.
No loss there. I just say this. Hopefully Duggan is good. He's healing up. He's being okay. And I tell you, if April 16th, and you keep alluding to the fact, if you thought the 13th of November was something, April 16th is going to blow you into another planet.
It's going to blow us into another decade.
There you go. So I tell you what.
And Lanny, well, he's doing it to himself. But anyway.
Well, I hope I'll be around for that one.
You hope?
You never know. God willing, you never know.
I'll second that.
Thank
Please.
you.
What would we do, as much as you and I have had our issues, what would we do without you?
I can't wait to see April 16th.
Maybe you could have like an Easted-flavored Fabo Pop.
I'll work on that. The hot sauce went
like
well.
Like a pink, I don't know what, maybe like a cotton candy
I had a
flavored,
bubble gum.
or-
I had a bubble gum.
You have a bubble gum?
I had
What color
it.
is
I had
that
it.
one? Oh,
It
had.
It was pink. Yep. No more bubble gum.
Not even for Easter you can't dig a case up.
No, they won't.
All right.
The company won't do it. So.
All right, fans. Again, we want to let you know, if you were with us on November 13th, if you were with us November 13th, you should have received a special link with a special discount code that's valid through November 30th that'll save you on top of the already discounted holiday price we're going to have for VIP packages and tickets to Soul Survivor 10 on April the 16th back in Melrose. That's if you pre-ordered and we have your email address. If you didn't, we gave everybody the opportunity the night of the event to leave their email address over at the merchandise stand. But the good news is you can also, whether you're in Melrose, not in Melrose, if you want to go back to the 80s with us on April 16th, on Thanksgiving Eve, this Wednesday, VIP packages and tickets with a nice holiday discount alone go on sale to everybody. So if you were with us, you can receive an extra discount through November 30th, but anyone can get VIP packages and tickets with a special price for the holidays. It's an early Black Friday, I guess, starting on Thanksgiving Eve.
Hey, I'm ready. Get those tickets. I'm going to tell you right now, do not be disappointed. There's a limit to the number of people that hall can seat.
Yes.
And I'm telling you right now, please, please, some of those fans I've never seen before are coming back for the April 16th show. Don't be disappointed. As you would always say, get your tickets now.
Johnny, we're just about a week and a half away from the cyber version of the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive coming to life. We're getting up in the bird, headed back to the Sunshine State. There is no Halloween Horror Nights, though. No horror at all, as a matter of fact. It's going to be good times, good cheer, good friends, good interviews, live episodes, cyber autograph signings. Already announced this week to be with us include the captain of the toy drive this year, the Hall of Famer himself, our good friend, Jerry Briscoe.
Wow.
Man that has a lot of respect for you.
As I for him. Tremendous individual. Please say hello to Jerry Briscoe for
Another
me.
individual that'll be joining us when we're down in the Sunshine State. What about a man that some say is dirty? Dirty Dutch Mantel, Zeb Coulter. He said he wants to spend another WrestleMania weekend with you.
We had such a great time, Dutch Mantel and I. I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of stories. He's an amazing, amazing man.
He's still shocked that you got charged for about 8 ginger ales at Red Lobster that night.
Red Lobster, please, don't even waste your time.
Also, beyond some of the other guests that have not been announced yet that we're still in communication with, what about the return of a true Native American? Not that other piece of garbage in North Carolina, the Native American Tatanka.
Another great star. Worked a couple of shows with him. Outstanding human being.
Good friend of Paul Bearer's, and also officially announced, Johnny, if you missed the news a little earlier tonight, our friend from down under that we just spent some time with this past weekend, Almighty! Oh! I want to see him lick your head, Johnny.
You know what, mate? I got to tell you something. He is a very, very, very good friend. We met 10 years ago, I believe, right here.
Right in Memorial Hall. He
Right
competed
here.
10 years ago.
That's right. And I have to tell you something. This man is another gentleman with a lot of stories. And as a matter of fact, I bet you didn't know this, but if you go to Wikipedia, you will find out that Bushwhacker Luke is, I believe, the second oldest still performing professional wrestler today. He is quite a guy. He's got I'll tell you something. What an amazing man. It was so good to see him sit back and chat. And as far as the Tonka goes, you know, November is Native American month.
It is?
So, yes, it is. So, you get a lot of things going for yourself.
Well, we're going to be taping a lot of great episodes. We have some other great superstars and legends we've been talking to about joining us when we're down there for Wrestle House 2. Who knows who's going to show up? Look at everybody we had WrestleMania week in Tampa. It was a success. Once we actually lugged everything down to the Sunshine State, it was rather easy to have everybody come to us instead of having to play taxi cab back and forth to Logan Airport and hotels every weekend like we did last year with all the superstars that came in. Not that we don't enjoy seeing our friends, but we think that'll make things a little easier on everybody. We'll still be able to tape some great quality episodes, and we'll be able to get a great quantity done for our wrestling.
I may be down there. I'm working on
Oh,
bringing
really?
my...
You're going to be joining us at Wrestle House.
No, I didn't say that. You haven't been invited. So
You were invited.
I'm invited. All right. But I'm
When
going
are
to
you
try to
going
get my
down?
granddaughter, my son Dan, and my daughter-in-law Janet down to Universal for the Grinch Christmas.
What days? Do you know?
I'm working on that now with my agent, and hopefully
Your
we'll-
agent? All right.
Yep.
We'll be there the 30th through the 6th. So if
You
wanna-
never know. Let me see. It's got to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, back Sunday. So I'm working on that now.
Well,
Everything
if
I've
you go
looked
that
at
first
is
weekend.
it's all sold out. It's,
What's all sold out?
Where I want to stay at the Royal Pacific, sold out.
You stay
Can't
at
get
the
any
big
rooms.
time. I'll tell you this, you'd have just as much fun at some of the non-$600 a night
Sapphire
Universal.
Falls.
You could try that. I know you said you don't like hard rock,
It's too. It's just not my thing.
I like the
I've stayed at the Portofino, which is the most expensive.
Surfside. I like is a nice, easy one. Cabana Bay. No, you're sickened at the thought of even staying at a place like that that's under $500 a night. I apologize.
I didn't pay $500 a night.
How much did you pay? $490.
Not even that.
Well, how much was it a night where you were?
Including, all right, I'll give the Royal Pacific a plug, including the concierge presidential level.
Yes.
$328 a night.
Really? How many with just one room, though?
Of course, but with my, I don't know if they have a room that will take all four of us. I want my son Matt's girls, Shelby and Noel, to come also, but I'm not sure that's going to be possible. So what I'll work on is bringing Dan, Janet, and Ashlyn, and then next year I'll take the girls down.
Oh, you could do that.
Yep.
I don't want to make you sick, but if you actually stayed at the Surfside Universal property, each room has two, well, I guess what you'd equate to 3 beds in 2 bedrooms.
There's a sofa and 2 beds, right?
No, it's 3 beds. You have one private bedroom with a bed, and then there's...
With a door on it?
Yeah.
Well, they must have that at the Royal Pacific.
I don't know.
I'll let you know.
That's the only one that I know of.
The Portofino was very nice.
We went to the Cabana Bay once, which had 2 beds and a sleeper sofa. And guess who wound up on the sleeper sofa? On concrete while Linda enjoyed
Linda Marati?
Yeah, Linda enjoyed her nice bed. Linda was a huge help at Back to the 90s. She must have just thought it was still the 90s because I don't think she's made it yet. But that's a different story for a different time. Wrestling.
Whoa!
You talk about the real Grinch. Let me tell you, it doesn't have to be Christmas for her.
Upside
but anyway.
the head.
All right, wrestling fans, right now we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we're going to talk about some current happenings in the world of professional wrestling. Stand by. Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays continues. Wrestling fans, welcome back to segment 2 of Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Dan Marty, John Cena Sr. here, still trying to get over that post Back to the 90s hangover. And I think I only had 2 or 3 adult beverages that night, so it's not like I had a hangover.
I had ginger ale. Moniz had tea.
Tea?
Tea.
Well, she went all out.
She wouldn't even have Mai Tai.
Really?
I tried to get her a suffering bastard, and he wouldn't stay, so we tried to get a couple of drinks. Even the waiter was, have a drink. No, I'm having tea.
Well, all right, Johnny, let's try and mull through some of the news. As we kind of alluded to earlier on, Hacksaw Jim Duggan on social media is on the mend. He's been enjoying breakfast on his porch with his chickens.
Good.
He said he's canceled all appearances for 2021, but hoping to hit the road in 2022. I have been in communication with Mrs. Duggan. Hopefully that can lead to him joining us on April 16th. Certainly not a promise. We do not want to put any words in anyone's mouth, but you know, we are looking forward to having the man when he's with us. I think it's going to be a tremendous celebration when we do.
I'm telling you, like I said, if you get the lineup you're talking about and the talent we're talking about, or you're talking about for the 16th of April, get a ticket. There won't be any left. I'm telling you right now, Duggan is on the mend. He's a hard man to keep down. Please God, he heals well. We did a tribute to Jim, kind of like a hello, get better. You were a bit confused on the 10-bell salute afterwards. Yes, and the intention, and it was, I said to somebody, you can't do a 10-bell salute and then do this to Duggan. So we did Duggan first, and then your ring announcer. Now we'll have a 10-bell salute for everyone who's passed away.
Put him over, Johnny. Put him over, brother.
Put him over?
Well, I'm being facetious, but you want to talk about tickets? There may be none left. Talking about being none left, another batch of WWE releases since the last time we got together.
It's like there's a machete down there. I can't believe this.
The day of the investors' call, as a matter of fact. It always seems like something happens the day we tape as soon as we are done. I guarantee you there'll be something of interest today that happens after you head back to Fabo Estates on the helicopter. But let's run through some of the names that the fans would be more familiar with. What do you think about Big Keith Lee, who they renamed Bearcat Keith Lee not too long ago?
Bye. Kid had potential. I think they should have stuck with him. But you know what? I don't understand. Why? I just keep asking myself, why?
37, though. You think he was getting a little long in the tooth for what they
You know
wanted?
what?
No.
If Bushwhacker Luke, and you kind of chuckle at it, can still go out there And he and I were talking in the back, and he said, you know, mate, I was here hoping to work. I said, what do you mean? 3, 4? No, mate, 15, 20-minute match. This guy can still go. So you know what, Vince, you're in good shape for a man of your age. You're 2 years younger than me. He's in great shape, and he can afford to be because he cares about his body and how he looks. Don't take it and say somebody 35 or 37 or 40 can't play the game. I think you've got to look at what you've got, and I think you've got to look at the term you want to keep them for and use them. That's not happening. Somebody goes in with scissors and a machete, and it's like, whack, goodbye, and I'm going, okay.
Would you have kept Keith Lee?
I think I would have. I think he had potential. You know what the sad part about this is? Nobody has had the chance to prove themselves. It's just like, bingo, see ya. I don't understand it. I realize they're top heavy.
Yeah, well, I realize, you know, I look at it like this. Great success in NXT. His first few weeks in the company, he was used in main events on television. I think he even was either in the main event or semi-main event of that Payback pay-per-view in August of 2020. But to me, and I don't know if it was the WWE presentation of it or what they wanted him to do, but it almost seemed like his promos were almost like an imitation of what a pro wrestling promo was supposed to be. And I don't know if that was with intent. I don't know if that was him. I don't know if that was WWE, but I thought it was lousy.
All I can tell you is this. Having been there, having worked there, the promo is the promo. Let me tell you, there's very few people in that collection that are allowed to run their mouth, so to speak. And that means free reign to say what you want. What's on that paper is what you say. So somebody wrote it, he had to say it.
Well, I'm talking about the delivery more than the verbiage.
Well, you know, not everybody can do
It almost
promos.
seemed like he should be working like a D-level nightclub in Vegas or something. With the,
Well, we had that right there at the Memorial Hall on the 13th, talking about people that can't deliver. So, you know, my whole thing is, this is why you've got to look at what you have, the character you've created, and decide what type of help they need. Managerial help, promo help. If they can't speak, then get somebody in there that can do it for them. Why the hell do you think we had the managers? Why do you think I have so much fun being a manager, going and doing what I do?
Now
I can still take the bumps.
New protege under your belt, JTG.
I can still take the few bumps if I have to. But the fact of the matter is, you got a guy that can't handle the stick. Do you think for 1 minute Roman Reigns could put Roman Reigns over? Yeah, he can wrestle. He can do his shit out there. But you know what? Heyman's the key to Roman Reigns right now.
All right. Well, they didn't want to leave anyone in the Lee household jealous, so they decided to release his fiancee too, Mia Yim, formerly of the hideous Retribution faction, which was ouch. But again, tough call. 32-year-old lady, certainly not 37. It just seems like after Retribution, they didn't really give her a chance. Would you have repackaged her, or do you think they made the right call on this one with Yim?
I probably would have tried to repackage her and see if we could have done something. But I think what they're doing now, I tell you what, you know, I was shooting the breeze in the back before we came out. Other people feel like I do.
You know, what's that?
They're getting ready to sell it. You know, you're trying to increase the bottom line. Stockholders are important. You're one. I have one share. I guess I won. But as a business person who runs or had run several businesses, all I can tell you is this. You're trimming and trimming and trimming to make the bottom line look better, to attract the fish. That's the bait. Somebody's going to come along and want to buy it. And, you know, as one person said, mate, I don't think so. As long as Vince is there, ain't happening. But if he can get that package to where he wants it, I'm still the CEO. Stephanie's got this job. Triple H has got this job. You know, Laurinaitis has got this job. I think there's a deal to be cut. As soon as my friend Khan came on from CBS, I believe it was, or NBC.
He's been all over the place.
Yeah, well,
guess what? He's been a talent representative. He's worked in media.
He's the guy.
worn many hats.
He's the guy that's slicing and dicing. And that's only for one reason.
What about one that I have to say this, and I hate to see anyone lose their job, but as far as not seeing them on television anymore, I'm thrilled. Big Nia Jax.
You know, I don't know what you got against her.
She's awful. She injures people. She had no talent to begin with. She probably would have never been given the job if she wasn't related to The
Jimmy
Rock.
Snuka and The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I have no problem with what you're saying. I think that when you, and this is a perfect example of when they should have looked at the talent at the very beginning, rather than put this person in a position of security. Do you understand what I'm saying? You just
don't think
do
they
that.
ever should have given her the opportunity.
That's exactly right.
Huh. Interesting. Well, you know what? For her own good, she was given a platform to become a nationally known, well, a worldwide known personality on TV. So I'm sure, if not another major league company where women are so scarce with major league experience, there's always independents as well.
That's exactly right.
I don't know if Hollywood would come knocking for her. I don't know what kind of role they would have for Nia, but you never know. The Rock could open many doors where they are related. I'm just glad she's not going to be in the ring potentially hurting people and putting on lousy matches.
You know what? And
Nothing against her personally.
And again, I go right back to the very beginning. This isn't something that just happened. It's an ongoing situation with her. So the fact of the matter is, why not make the decision then? Look, Dwayne Johnson's a great human being. I don't care if she was related to the Pope. If you can't pull the trigger and do the job, because when I'm in that ring and the Dwayne's and Johnson's in that, my life is in your hands and your life is in mine. If she's doing those kinds of things, no place in this business. Nope, maybe she's a great manager, but don't put her out there as a wrestler. And they did a disservice to her and the individuals that she's working with.
Well, they put them in jeopardy. If it was dangerous to work with. I mean, I don't know if I'd exactly call her Brody, but
no, I watched some of the stuff she did. I'm sorry to say.
I call it green. You know what I mean? Maybe not ready.
Why call it now? Call it at the very beginning. Don't let somebody feel secure. What did she say? I was shocked. I was on leave. I thought there was a storyline where I was coming back.
I don't know how stressed out and how much time off these people needed when they were working 1 day a week for over a year. I mean, I think that's almost like a vacation compared to.
Try doing what some of the superstars have done.
Yeah.
Cena, 325, 30 days. The Rock was out there busting his ass. Hogan, you couldn't keep up with it. Austin.
1 day a week, please. Another couple they put the kibosh to, Johnny. One, and I think this one could come back and bite them in the ass because I see superstardom written all over them. Karrion Kross and Scarlett, who were quite the duo in NXT. Why they decided to separate them once they brought Karrion Kross up to Raw, they repackaged them once. They were getting ready for another repackage, and then they just decided to package them up and ship them off via UPS and release them.
Because somebody sits back and says,
I can do it better.
Yeah, all right, I don't need him. I think,
Well, I think when they took Scarlett away from him, he lost a little bit of that element of what made him successful. But I wouldn't have gotten rid of either one of them.
I wouldn't have either. But the fact of the matter is,
the first three I can see. This one is a mistake.
I have to tell you this. I don't believe it's just Vince McMahon, and people are blaming Vince for all this stuff. I say no.
Now, see, I disagree with you. At the end of the day, if Vince McMahon truly wanted one of these people, or any of these people, do you really think they'd be gone?
You know what? I'm not sure anymore.
Really?
Because, and I really mean this, and people, I don't know any, and believe me when I say this, I don't know any more than anybody else. I believe me, I don't. I have no inside tracks. I don't know any little secrets. I'm not the guy, I was at the meeting, and all I can say is this. The way that WWE has done and currently is doing business, I don't think it's the same deal anymore.
Well, all right. Could you see Kross going on to be a major force in another promotion?
Yes.
Great size. He's only 36. I mean, he's not elderly.
I'd bring his partner with him.
Yes. And she's much younger, so
there's a duo right there that's worth the money. That's money. You know what we say? Marty, that wrestler's money. That team is money. And somebody just doesn't know what they're looking at.
Well, we also lost one individual that people had suspected was you at one point, a Lucha House Party. Gran Metalik and Lindsay Dorado. They said, from your days as a luchador down in Mexico, taught some of them some of their moves. Disappointed, surprised to see Lucha House Party, I guess, move the party on to another house.
I guess the party wanted to move anyway. So, you know what?
They did. They had asked for their release here in Boston.
So guess what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You don't want to be here, you know, and if they made a mistake by asking for it. I have the old saying, my brother-in-law, you know, Tom used to say, my sister Eileen's brother, before he passed away, and he always used to say it, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
Well, or maybe they're happy.
I
don't
think
know.
they might be. You know what?
I haven't seen official comments from them.
I hate to say this because, you know, WWE, I have a great deal of respect for them, my family. But what I say is this. There is life outside of WWE.
Sure.
AEW is proving that. Impact is trying to prove it. The indies are an open market. I mean, you know, I look at Matt Cardona. Look at that. He's living the dream.
Well, Kalisto just made his AEW debut under his former name in Mexico, from formerly of Lucha House Party. So who knows? Maybe they could reunite them there.
You know, anybody, and I'm going to get myself in trouble, I guess, but anybody that says, you know, WWE is it, sorry, folks. When there was no competition, WWE was it. Don't tell me AEW is not competition. Don't tell me that that's number two. There can't be a third out there. So when you were the only furniture store on the street, maybe. Ain't so now.
Well, you also had, let's try and run through them, Johnny, as we've gone past the break time. A guy that was supposed to be brought back with great promise, a man that was supposed to main event Survivor Series 2007 against Shawn Michaels, and it's just, the dots never seem to connect. He was brought back again under contract full time. He was never used on television once. He worked one dark match. The son of the late great Davey Boy Smith, Harry Smith, Davey Boy Smith Jr. Great size.
Great wrestler. I think he had some potential.
Why wouldn't you have at least put him on TV once or tried to do something with him? Why just waste the money to bring him in for absolutely zero reason?
Pacification. Try to let somebody say, look what we did, look what we did, look what we did. And you're saying that Shawn Michaels is done.
What's that?
Shawn Michaels is done.
What do you mean he's done?
You said he's done? You said Shawn Michaels?
No, he was supposed to show how many different ideas they've had for him over the years that they've never done.
I agree.
On the 10th anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob, they were going to have him work Shawn at Survivor Series. And that was 10 years ago.
That would have been
we
great.
Know that never happened.
No, it didn't. Well, you know what? All I can say is the company has changed.
We lost Ember Moon. Ooh. She's going back to the woods, back to the forest, I guess.
Oh, well, here we go. Cut some more trees.
You didn't, losing Ember really didn't, no, all right. Well, we also lost a guy who formerly competed here in Boston Wrestling MWF under the name Biff Busick, in NXT known as Oney Lorcan.
Biff held a little bit of potential there.
Oh, just a little?
A little.
All right.
A little.
Now, probably didn't have WrestleMania headliner superstar look, but a very sound technician once the bell rang.
Understood what was going on.
Yes, very good, very solid.
And my mate and I were talking about this in the back.
You
he
and
said,
Luke.
Yep. One of the things that he told the young men back there, because I don't know why the promoter didn't want women. That's another story for another time. But he said, listen to the crowd. Psychology, and they don't understand.
Well, not to be confused with J-Fab, we also lost B-Fab.
Long lost relative, I guess, huh?
Well, I tell you this, I think there's a lot of great potential in Isaiah Swerve Scott. While, maybe if he had a few more inches, you're talking main event potential, but a lot of potential in him. That Hit Row faction on SmackDown is really fresh and really good, I think. I don't think they needed B-Fab. Maybe they could have used J-Fab. I don't know.
Have him call me.
But stick a fork in her, she's done, as Gorilla Monsoon
She's done.
would say.
She's finished.
Anyone on that list surprise you? Anyone disappoint you?
Well, Kross is one that I was kind of like, really? Really? The Luchador Party, that was kind of a fun thing.
Were you, just to clarify, were you ever a member of Lucha House Party?
Never.
All right.
Never. Outside of that, I hate to say it, but it's business as usual for WWE. I don't think anybody, and say what you want, somebody is not putting a lot of thought into the future, because what they have on their roster, main roster now, I think there's a couple there that could get the axe.
And many on the main roster that are in their 40s that are older than even me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Not for nothing, but all right, wrestling fans, right now we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the world of the king of sports, professional wrestling. Don't forget, this Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, we are getting ready to gear up for a huge 2022. We want you to join us as we kick off our third decade for Soul Survivor 10, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall, when we go back to the 80s. Stand by. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. Segment 3, Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. It was a big night. I'm sure you were gearing up to head on down to the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut for SmackDown Live. Front
Indeed,
row as usual.
I was.
You had to dash back here to the studio.
I did. I was all warmed up, ready to go. We copter, bing.
Bing, bang, boom. All right, Johnny, it is a big weekend in the world of professional wrestling for fans here in the Boston area, though. If you want something to, after you get your tickets, of course, to our Back to the 80s extravaganza, April the 16th, on Sunday afternoon, January the 9th, on the 29th anniversary of the Bret Hart Ric Flair marathon match at the old Boston Garden, there'll be a WWE Super Show with a special 5 p.m. bell time.
In Boston?
At the TD Garden in Boston, Johnny. I'm sure the fans will be looking forward to seeing you there that night.
I haven't been invited.
Well, it's kind of rough, I don't know, to run up against the NFL. The Patriots could potentially be playing. That would not have been the date I would have booked. One man's opinion. One man's opinion.
I would concur, but somebody's not getting the message.
Well, I mean, I think in January, there are some cities you avoid on a Friday or a Saturday, and I would think Boston would be one of them.
Absolutely. And you know, it's like the Batman movie, remember? What did he say? Oh, you didn't get the memo?
All right, wrestling fans, this Sunday night, Johnny, is one of the marquee events in the world of WWE from the Barclays Center, as of now the non-sold-out Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, which was a real surprise, and I think shows the state of the interest right now in the company in a negative way. Survivor Series.
Until you bring back professional wrestling the way it should be, WWE has gone way out of the realm, way out of the realm. It says a lot about the current product. And I don't get it. Why aren't they listening? Why aren't they listening? The fans are the lifeblood of this industry. You've said it a million times. I say it every time I do a show or I'm here with you. Without the fans, this is what you have for professional wrestling. Zero. Zero. And they don't understand it. The numbers are going down.
But can you believe they haven't even sold out Brooklyn for Survivor? They're not even a house show or a TV taping. One of the big four?
Well,
come on,
what does it say? What does it say?
What is it going to say in 2022 when Survivor Series has hit the Garden in Boston?
Maybe it won't be there.
Well, no, they've announced it. I don't think that.
You know, they announced a lot of stuff.
Well, I like, as we noted before, I like the fact that there are going to be so many Saturday pay-per-views in 2022, but outside of Survivor Series, I guess now Money in the Bank is included, and it's now the Big Five. The rest of them are all going to be in major stadiums. Boston is the only one that's going to be in a traditional arena setting. So get your tickets now.
Yeah, I guess, what does Moniz always say? Go big or go home?
Yeah.
So Vince is going big. He ain't going home.
Well, let's run through some of this lineup, Johnny, as they continue to say it's the one time a year when it's brand versus brand, head on head. is they led into a 6-man tag team match that was Raw versus SmackDown on TV on Monday night. But I guess that's, yeah, well, you know, I guess it sounds good when trying to promote the pay-per-view when they do it over and over and over again throughout the year. But again, you know, why nitpick? You know, when you insult the fans' intelligence, why expect them to not tune out, you know? But one man's opinion.
Maybe Cena will be there.
I highly doubt it.
In January?
Oh, in January? Who knows? He came back in January before for a short spell.
Hometown, yeah, hometown, yeah.
Well, maybe a tag match, maybe. Father and son. If Luke can do it. I know you just hit that 60 bridge, but...
I hope I see Cowboy Bob Orton at one of our shows.
Yeah, how you doing, Johnny? Yeah. All right. Main event, Johnny. Champion versus champion. Raw versus SmackDown. It'll be Big E no title defenses, which is yet another reason why no one cares. It'll be Raw champion, WWE champion Big E against the WWE Universal Champion representing SmackDown, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns goes over Big E. Next match. You see what's bad about this? My 8-year-old granddaughter, Ashlyn, will sit here and go, he's going to lose. Why? Where is the storyline? Where's the suspense? Where's the build-up? Okay, Roman, we know you're the man.
It'll be champion versus champion as the Raw Women's Champion that was the SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, challenges the SmackDown Champion that was the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. And, and again, I continue to say, why bother to put the champions in the draft if they're just going to exchange them almost like Christmas gifts or...
The thing I'm concerned about with that match is there's some real heat. This is no, I don't think many people understand the business, but there's some real heat between these two ladies. You put those two ladies in the ring, it might not be a match. It just might end up being a shoot. So that holds some potential. But, my call, hello, Becky Lynch.
Johnny, I hate to say it because I know some quote-unquote online journalists got bashed for it, but I think I'm starting to notice it more than ever, how much Charlotte Flair's face is transformed. I mean, it's really awkward.
You think it's surgery?
Unless it's just vanishing in the middle. I mean, unless Andrade's taking a pencil and just erasing part of her in the middle of the night at home. I'm not trying to be cruel, but it's to the point where it really, and I think it's aged her too.
Too thin.
It's insanely thin. Sometimes when they shoot her at a side angle, it doesn't even look like her anymore.
No, I would.
And I'm not trying to be cruel.
No. Comments are good. You know what?
Well, it's not exactly a compliment either,
criticism.
but I'm not trying to knock her.
No.
She looks kind of like an elf.
Your new elf on the shelf for Christmas. You too can have
They
Charlotte
just need
Flair.
to get little tips for the top of her ears. But
was that tips?
Yeah, something. No, I wouldn't say that. One match, though, I have to say, Johnny, I actually am looking forward to. I think potentially could be the match of the night. It'll be the Raw Tag Team Champions. I won't even use the name because I hate it. Randy Orton and Riddle taking on the Usos of SmackDown Tag Team Championship. That could be a hell of a wrestling match.
I'm going to well, the Usos are going to go over, obviously.
Who do you think is going to go over?
The Usos.
You think it'll be the Usos?
There's no question about it.
Well, I don't know. You got Randy Orton in there. I still see them being teased to be broken up to wrestle at WrestleMania. But
the Usos?
No, Orton and
Riddle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, no question about it. But the Usos will go over. Having worked with Randy Orton, outstanding athlete. I may not like what happened.
There's a trading card.
But shit happened. Yeah, I got it right here. Look, you want me to show you? A fan did a favor.
And
made a trading card. There it is. Get a real tight shot of that one. That was known as the infamous punt. Orton's got a lot left in the engine. Don't count Orton out. But you know what? They've got to put the Usos over because they've got to continue this little game they're playing with Roman Reigns and continued interference. When Lesnar comes back, we'll see what happens.
Well, he is going to be in Los Angeles December 10th for SmackDown Live, so I think that'll begin the build of the Royal Rumble. That remains to be seen.
Right.
Champion versus champion yet again. Damian Priest takes on Shinsuke Nakamura in another interbrand match.
I'll tell you what, if I had to make a choice in that one, I'd say Damian Priest.
I would as well, even though he's not exactly a youngin' himself, where they're playing the age game. I think he's a couple of years younger than Shinsuke, and he's kind of the new kid on the block that they're trying to push. Shinsuke has kind of been around the block. You know, he's had his World Championship match at WrestleMania, and I think he's pretty much plateaued as far as what they're going to do with him in 2021. I agree with you on that one.
Release.
I don't know about... It used to be delete with Matt Hardy. Now it's release. Well, it's not that funny. But so I think we've agreed on every pick thus far. But I see I have to read it because I can't remember it.
That's all right.
It's going to be Raw versus SmackDown in traditional Survivor Series tag team matches. It'll be Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and then replacing Rey and Dominic Mysterio, Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory, taking on Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and someone that was probably announced tonight a little while ago, to show how much thought they put into it. Does Baron have a lot to be happy about other than that he hasn't been released?
Corbin is a waste of time and money, all right? I don't know where the hell they're looking, but they're looking in the right direction when they let people go. Not that he can't do a job, but he just doesn't have it.
So we should be happy.
He should be happy and get a release and go
No, he'd
somewhere
be happy
else.
that he didn't get one.
Yeah, I would definitely say somebody's, I don't know. My thought is I would probably go with the side of McIntyre. I think.
You think SmackDown will win?
I think
really?
they'll win, yeah.
See, I disagree with you. I see Raw on that one.
Well, let's see what happens.
All right, and then the big one, Johnny, the female 10 women's tag team match. It'll be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina, who now has a English accent from Brooklyn, will take on Sasha Banks, the Herman Munster of WWE, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, Natalya Neidhart. You know they're digging deep when they throw Natalya out there. And yet another question mark that was likely resolved earlier tonight on SmackDown. Which side do you see victorious on this when these 10 women go to war at the Barclays
Well, we got
Center?
Bianca out there, obviously, so I think that's going to be a comeback. I expect to see her and Sasha Banks go at it one-on-one.
Well, with Bianca, though, again, I know you've been so busy you may have missed it, but they've set up Bianca for a pretty big feud on Raw. Oh, you have seen it. All right. Well, I figured that individual may interfere in that match, and SmackDown would win that way if Doudrop came out and dropped on Bianca.
All right, Doudrop, come on outside there, old folks, out here and have a good time.
And again, doesn't it show how much thought is played into things?
They released her manager.
I think we forgot to mention her, too.
She's gone.
I couldn't stand Eva Marie. Good riddance.
No,
pretty
I'm
lady,
with you. But why would you bring her back to dump her?
No talent.
Yeah, but see, why? Why would you bring a person back to only turn around and say, have a good day?
But Doudrop has now been heel, face, heel in about 4 months in the company.
Please. You know what? Now they want to know why people don't watch.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in Doudrop?
I change it to dung drop. You know what? Gumdrop, whatever the hell you want to say.
She should just be dropped. The do should be dropped. And we're not talking about that kind of do.
Nope.
No.
See you later.
Right. Well, Johnny, before we go, I did want to note, as we're going on overtime once again, we had a loss of one of the greats in the king of sports professional wrestling, a legend in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, main evented in virtually every territory he went to back in that era of pro wrestling, King Kong Angelo Mosca.
I remember Angelo Mosca. He was kind of out of his mind sometimes when he wrestled. He really brought it to the front like Killer Kowalski and the other superstars, the original Sheik. I think it's a sad loss to the business. It really is. When we start losing, and I said this in the ring when we did the tribute to Jim Duggan, I thank those legends and superstars because they are truly the ones who bulldozed the trees and paved the way for the young men and women today to be in the king of sports.
Did you see that brawl that he had a couple of years ago on ESPN and other news outlets when a long rival of his from the CFL first tried to shove a flower in his face, and Mosca got angry and hit the other man in the face with his cane, and then the guy came back and started punching him. And
No.
these two men in their mid-70s, to be generous. I think it was Joe Kep. I'm believe
It's a
it or
work,
not.
of course.
No.
It was a shoot?
You've got to see the video. It was all over ESPN and social media for days.
Oh, my God.
Mosca had no balance, so after he swung the cane and hit him in the face, as soon as the guy punched him, then hit him with the left on his way down, and Mosca was done. But I guess this went back
That's sad.
to a debatable dirty play probably back in the 60s, so it was a long-time grudge. The man
Sad.
said he's looked at the picture of Mosca making the hit for 50 years.
That's sad.
That's a grudge and a half, John. It's
Yeah.
like me and Dylan, but anyway.
You and Dylan, you got a grudge with a lot of people.
There's
Down
only,
the
there's only
street?
one. That's what I
Down
was
the
going to say. There's
street?
only, that's the real.
And she was so nice to everybody. There was a sign over the door. I couldn't believe it. It said, "Thank God." And then I said, "She's got religion." But it said, "Marty's not here."
Yeah, maybe she meant Dylan. Who knows? I don't know. I like I said, the report that night was it was a hug. You said it was a handshake.
No hug.
I take your word for it, as I respect you.
I don't remember a hug. I really don't.
I was going to say, look for disinfectant if there was one. All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time on this episode. For the fabulous one, John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marty. Don't forget the big news, folks. This Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, tickets and VIP packages go on sale for Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s extravaganza, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose. What a great gift to give for Christmas this holiday season to the wrestling fan on your list. And don't forget, beginning a week from that Wednesday, December the 1st, we'll be in the Sunshine State for the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive when we bring you live episodes. We bring you cyber autograph signings and so much more. Again, for John Cena Sr., not B-Fab, he's J-Fab. I'm Dan Marty. Good night from Boston. Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.